Welcome to Caribbean Lifestyle TV. I'm Erwin Clear. Yes, I'm back, been away for a while, but I have with me today a very, very special guest. In fact, today we are at the Brooklyn Borough Hall because we are doing a press conference here today. Lime, also known as Cable, or I should say formerly Cable and Wireless, is hosting a reception here on behalf of the Netball Association, which is geared to set off here in Brooklyn pretty soon. But I have a very special guest with me today, and we had to take time out to talk to her. And I'm going to say something here, and many people might be saying, "Are you for real?" Yes, I am for real. She's a former member of the WNBA. And what is the WNBA? That's Women's National Basketball Association. And she played for the Seattle Storm. And in fact, she tells me that she even played here in New York at one point. Who am I talking about? We're talking about Miss Simone Edwards. And we're actually sitting down because if we were to have stood up, it would have been disproportionately for the camera to really zero in on me and then on her. But first and foremost, I'd like to say welcome to Caribbean Lifestyle TV, Simone.
Thank you for having me here.
Right. Great. In my opening conversations just now, I mentioned WNBA. And I know many people must be saying, wow, they didn't realize we had a Jamaican playing in the WNBA. Are you the first Jamaican to do so?
Yes, that I know of.
All right. Tell me now, your experiences with playing in the WNBA.
Well, first, I did win a championship. So I have my championship.
Let us see that. Let a championship. With what team was that?
Seattle Storm in 2004.
Okay.
So I was with that inaugural season here in New York. I was with the New York Liberty as a developmental player. And then I went to Europe to play in Israel. Played there for 6 years, but in 2000 I came back to the WNBA and was with the Storm until 2006.
Now, we might be wondering now, how the heck did Simone reach the WNBA? Obviously, you were a standout. You have the height, you have the build, among other things. But let me ask you this. What sport did you play in Jamaica prior to the WNBA?
Netball, and I was also in track and field, I was a sprinter.
Okay. What school was that?
Kingston Technical High School.
So tell me how this thing all started now. You're in track and field at Kingston Tech. What happens afterward?
I went to compete at the stadium, and I was coming back from the stadium. I went to stop at the netball stadium, and I ran into two coaches, Coach Keith Daly and Coach Gary Hudson from the University of Oklahoma. And they said, "You're tall and you're athletic. Why don't you practice the game for the rest of your senior year? And I'll give you a scholarship in basketball." I didn't even know what basketball was at the time. So I went home, told my mom, "Mommy, I'm going to get a scholarship for basketball." She said, "What is that?" I said, "I don't know, but I'm taking it," you know. And so Keith Daly took me every day after school, and I trained. And then they gave me a scholarship to go to Seminole Junior College for a year to develop more as a player. And, I worked really hard. So that first year in Seminole, I got an All-American, second-team All-American. And the second year, I was Kodak All-American, one of the nominees for Player of the Year. And then went on from there to University of Iowa. And I got injured twice, so it was hard going out in the draft. So all the players were going out. So I said I decided to come try out in New York. There were like 300 girls, and they only need like for 2 spots. So I came and tried out and got a call and said, we'd like you to come on the New York team. And, that's the rest,
Let me ask this. How tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
See what I mean? 6'4". Obviously, whilst this was happening, and many persons would probably not have realized that this was happening. Do you feel that as you went through your career that attention was being given to you as a Jamaican playing the game?
Yes, especially whenever I get interviewed by the media, I always tell them, even when I was in Europe or in Israel, to put that I'm Jamaican. And I always have my Jamaican passport until now. So it's one of the things they always say. They call me the Jamaican hurricane, if you look up on the internet in Seattle. So they always associate my country with me,
You have had a successful career. It has allowed you the opportunity for higher education. experiences all over the world. For young girls watching now, and even youngsters watching now, what do you say to a youngster who is athletically inclined as they prepare for their career, the future?
First, they have to have a passion for whatever they're doing in whatever sport they choose. Especially the ones in the Caribbean, I would love them, more of the young ladies, to pick up basketball. I started off in netball. Netball is a fun sport. I love it. But there are a lot of scholarship given out in basketball.
Would you say netball is like a foundation sport towards the WNBA for women?
Right now, because basketball has become so popular, it's a little different. Back when I was in high school, basketball didn't really exist for the young girls in high school. We didn't have girls basketball. So we played netball. And now the girls are playing basketball in high school. So it's a little different, but I think it's a foundation, because a lot of the things that you do in netball, the pivoting, just the anticipation on defense, it's very good for basketball. So, there are two games I will always promote, netball and basketball. I'm just saying that with basketball, you get scholarship for basketball. Yeah, so I would love for a lot more of the young ladies to play basketball, so they'll have the opportunity to maybe one day make it to the WNBA or go to Europe and play professional. But even if not even to play professional basketball, to get an education here.
And let's go to the education piece. You went to what college here?
I started out at Seminole Junior College, and then I went to the University of Iowa.
And you studied?
Sociology.
So you not only got out of this the whole career from the professional standpoint of basketball, but the foundation in education, which is so important these days.
Very, very important, because you can get injured anytime. Basketball, professional game, it's not guaranteed for anyone. You can go sign a contract, but then you can blow your knee out, tear your ankle, and your career's over. But you'll always have your education, your degree, and that's very important.
Did you have any serious injuries that kept you out of the game for any long period of time?
Yeah, I had two in college, which dampened my, to get into the draft for the WNBA. That's why I had to come to a tryout. And also injuries while I was playing in Europe and also in the WNBA. It's just hard not to get injuries. I was playing all year round, 8 months in Europe or Israel, and 4 months in the WNBA.
Our special guest today, of course, is Miss Simone Edwards, who is a former player of the WNBA. And we are here at the Brooklyn Borough Hall because this afternoon, Lime, which is a wireless entity out of Jamaica, formerly Cable and Wireless, is a major sponsor of the Netball Association here in Brooklyn, in the tri-state area. And we had the occasion to speak to Miss Simone Edwards, who, as I said, is a former WNBA player. We're going to take a short break now. When we come back, we're going to be talking to her some more about her role in this Netball Association and the association with Lime, but also some of her experiences she has had, and as it relates to Jamaica, because Jamaica is positioning itself in the women's netball, not the women's netball, but the women's basketball, and they're well positioned. And with people like Simone, I'm quite certain that Jamaica have a far ways to go. So we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.